Hey everybody, listen up. I got mega huge news. Meat Eater Live is heading back out on the road. That's right. Join me and the crew. Clay Newcomb, Cal, Yanni, Spencer's going to be there. Phil the Engineer's going to be there. Meat Eater Live, headed back out. Now, when you get every ticket, okay, every ticket you buy, you get a signed copy of our new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook. This tour is celebrating the release of the book. Buy a ticket, get a signed copy, Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook, wild game recipes for the grill, smoker, camp stove, and campfire, which I'll point out is a $38 value. Here's where we're going to go. April 23rd, the Mesa Art Center in Mesa, Arizona. April 24, the Balboa Theater in San Diego. April 25, the Grove in Anaheim, California. April 27, the Crest Theater in Sacramento. April 29, the Union in Salt Lake City. April 30, the Egyptian in Boise. May 1, the Wilma Theater in Missoula. May 2, the Bing Crosby Theater in Spokane, Washington. May 4, Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon. And May 5, the last day of the tour, Pantages Theater in Tacoma, Washington. For tickets and more information, visit the events page at themeateater.com. Hope to see you at the show.
Hey, this is Tyler Jones, and you're listening to the Element Podcast.
Tonight, I need you by my side. Hold on to me and keep me in the light. And when the shadows get long and the whippoorwill song is so loud that it hurts.
What's happening, all my wits people? We are sitting here at a table looking at each other, real exhausted, like in a very secret part of the Midwest, and we can't tell you a whole lot about it. But I'm sitting here with a couple of my best buds, Casey Smith. Everybody knows that guy.
Hey guys.
And dang, dude, your spirits, man, your spirits.
It's all good.
It's bad.
I just thought I'd do something a little bit different.
Okay.
It was like,
yeah, I got you.
It was kind of like well, no, hey y'all. It was, hey guys, you know.
Well, no, that doesn't really. I don't know about that. So anyway, Casey's sitting there. Did you finish all your peanut butter today?
No, Anthony did.
Okay, so Anthony, it's actually sitting closer to him. This is Anthony Warren across the table from me. And say hi, Anthony.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, it's growing great. If you're talking to me or if you're talking to the fans, then I guess they can answer to themselves. Anyway, Anthony is about 6'2", pretty nice looking guy. No, he's actually an influencer, I would say, of sorts, and he's a professional photographer. Right? You've done some professional photography.
Yeah, man. I actually just recently got a little bit of stuff published, kind of in some, some print that was going to go out to some trade shows and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. And I've worked with a handful of companies over the last couple of years, just doing some stuff here and there, a little bit of video work, some photo stuff. So
content provision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Anthony and I met 2014.
It was
13.
2012.
Was it?
Yeah.
Whoa. No way.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Because we took pictures of Jordan doing some recording in the old warehouse.
Yeah.
And that was like.
And that was right after your first album.
That was the Christmas album of 20. Was it Christmas 2012?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dadgum, dude! I didn't realize that long ago.
I know.
Why didn't we video any like deer or anything before like 2015? We did a little bit of 2014, I guess.
Yeah. So we met, and I was a broke kid, and I know you just had your son not too long before then, and
I was really broke.
Yeah. And I know we had wanted to do some more stuff together. It was just kind of getting the money together to do the gear and everything. And then, shortly after that, I went on my second deployment overseas, and so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I got back. Oh shoot. Valentine's Day of 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of fits the timeline.
Yep.
And we kind of hit it hard after that, man.
Yeah, dude. It was at that point, you had some money from deployment, I think. You bought Canon 6D,
Yeah.
which is still rocking and rolling, dude.
I was tearing it up with it today. You were tearing it up with it today.
Dude, I just was feeling it. Your camera is just so much nicer than mine, even though they're like the same thing. I don't know what it is, but have you had it cleaned before, like professionally cleaned?
Yeah, I've seen it, man. I run a little bit different picture profile and stuff on there. So
yeah, mine's rough, dude. Anyway, so yeah, you bought that. We ended up getting some lenses and stuff, and then 2014 was when we kind of started doing some videoing together, and we ended up out of that season. We were also doing some stuff with Justin Wright, who has been on the podcast before. I think 21-ish. Talked about dealing with the loss was the name of the episode, and talking about a big buck that he shot, which you know about, and
Big Mike,
Big Mikey, and anyway, so. We all were doing this kind of video hire production thing together, and we ended up. I still do wedding videos with Justin now, but we started a wedding films company because we wanted to.
Yeah, we just wanted to fund what we were doing.
Exactly.
Man, this stuff was expensive, right? And we were just like, man, how can we offset this? And I think. Our first wedding was actually Cody Beaver's wedding. Yeah. And I think you've had him on before,
too. Yeah, he's been on the podcast, too.
Man, we're running dry on friends, dude.
We're coming full circle with this with Anthony right now.
So I think we filmed his wedding for like a really good price.
$300 or something.
Yeah. And like we begged him to do it.
Yeah. We're like, please don't choose anybody else.
Yeah. And we did that, and we filmed some hunts, and me and Justin started hunting in Kansas, and we were really successful filming the weddings, and then Ashley and I ended up moving, and I got back from another deployment last year, and so just life.
It's been crazy,
man.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember the first like video we put together was you and Justin in a tree, 2014. It's called Monarch. It's on our YouTube channel if you want to go check it out.
That's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, dude.
It's bad at the bottom.
Dude, it is. It was really like I love going back and watching it. It's actually I don't know what it is about it, but I just love that video. It's just well done, man. I mean, you did it, and it's like I think you've spoken about this before, but people don't take. It takes like sometimes if you break things down to a basic. To like as far as technology goes or something, maybe for instance, you go like, okay, well this thing can do so much, but let me just break it back down to like what the basics, what the fundamentals of like good footage or good film is, right? And see if I can do it right. So like for instance, in Africa, you used a T7i or whatever, and like said, I can take sick pictures with this little like cheap, consumer camera essentially. And so like, for instance, this film is shot all in 24, or whatever. And it's just, and I think that you've talked about that before to me is like people are using all this slow motion and stuff to make things look epic. And really like, if you can tell a story with 24 frames per second, and this is probably so weird jargon for people. But anyway, Monarch, we'll link to that in the bottom, so make sure you go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, a little backstory on that, because it's kind of, I don't know if we ever said this in the film, but it actually had kind of a dual meaning. Justin and I, we'd hung that stand, and we were walking in one day, and it was early November, and or maybe it was even earlier than that, but it was a pretty early hunt, I think, on that place. And I just remember walking down, the sun was setting, and these monarch butterflies were migrating through, and there were probably hundreds of thousands of them, and they were just everywhere, man. And I was like, dude, this is awesome, just monarch butterflies. And so I think that kind of stuck with me. And then Justin shot that freaking hog, dude.
Oh, dear.
And like Justin was like, man, I'm on film, like talking about this thing. We're doing the interviews and stuff for the hunt, and the outtakes and everything. And he's like, dude, I don't want to be like the typical guy that's like, yeah, this pig or this brute or whatever. and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, I don't know how old this deer is, but he is old. Like. He just had the brisket hanging down, the gray face, the big body, just everything that you see in an old deer. And I was like, dude, he's a monarch. And I think he was, man. And and so like it kind of tied it all back together. And so like that's kind of where I'd come up with the name, and I know I had ran it across you guys, but I was just like, man, it just stuck in my mind. It just turned out awesome, and we ended up kind of attributing that to Justin's little brother at the end, and turned out really awesome for where we were.
Yeah, Justin's brother passed away that year, correct? It was that year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was in Afghanistan, and so that was.
That was the end of 2013.
Yeah, it was
it?
December. Yeah. It was like a couple days after Christmas, man. It was a rough time, but
definitely.
But yeah, it was like December 2013, and I just and I actually remember getting the news and calling him up.
Oh man,
and dude, I know he was heartbroken, and when I got home, I know we embraced him. So, and I know you were there, but man. And so that was kind of the best way I knew to kind of honor.
Yeah, it was great,
Jordan, man. and his life. And I knew, had Jordan had he been alive, he would have been right there with us. So, man. And kind of looking back on everything, it's so bittersweet, but man, we made some awesome stuff. Man.
Yeah, we did. And I was telling you the other day, I was like, dude, I still use B-roll from 2015 that we shot. Like, there's some epic stuff, man.
I think there were probably days where, probably much like today, we'll probably end up getting like 4 hours of sleep, like we're just crushing content all day. But, man, I was telling KC this the other day, like, man, we'd wake up and we'd go hunt and we'd be so laser focused and we'd get to the tree early, and you're setting up camera arms and cameras, and then that hunt goes by and most of the time we didn't kill anything.
You got a ton of footage.
And so you get a ton of footage there, and then we go back to the camp house and you're like, well, what do we do? So we went out and got more footage, and then we'd shower and go hunt, and at night we'd be doing time lapses and stuff. So
I'm glad y'all
time lapse last night.
I'm glad y'all did all that, because Anthony actually had an appearance in our most recent film. He's in Hooked a couple times. It's pretty cool.
Cooking pizzas, which is what he's done. You've done that for years, probably since you were a kid, right? You're professional pizza cooker. And so, we were a lot of the footage, man, from the Jack footage. Like, a lot of it is stuff that Anthony or Justin or I have shot, but a lot of it was Justin and Anthony.
And you did like a whole montage of like 2015, I think.
Like a season long.
I think you did 2 of them, maybe. I can't remember. I watch everything that you put out, so
Thanks,
I can't remember. But I know you did that montage, and man, it takes me back, dude.
It was a great year.
It started out, and you remember
all the
this,
promise in the world.
It started out, and man, we did that. What was it, like a 3/4 mile walk in to the stand, and then seeing Frank for the first time, and I was like, man, that's a unique deer. I want to shoot that deer. The very next night, I shot that deer, and just had just misranged him, and stuff happens. That's another sad story that you've probably heard if you've watched any of the footage and stuff that Tyler's put out. And then the happy ending, well, kind of bittersweet, is you actually shot that deer, man, and he's again another super old deer from the plains, man.
Yeah, so it was, and that kind of brings us full circle. We're talking about like creating content right now. Ultimately, the goal is that, or I don't know if the goal, but the consequence is that we are influencers in one way or another. And we got a guy coming on to talk with us here pretty shortly, who probably has a way more tremendous influence than we do. But Chris B of the B Season, we're like, Casey and I are like big fans of what he does. And I know that sounds weird because Chris is young and like you're not supposed to fan out. But like, dude, he puts out some cool footage, man. And like he's just a real dude. Like,
well,
I feel
we're trying to stay
along.
young, man. That's the deal.
That we're trying as hard as we can. The longer we stay up tonight, the older we're going to be in the morning. I guarantee you.
Baggy eyes over here.
Yeah, five comes early.
Anyway, there's definitely a lot of responsibility that comes with all that, and I think that getting perspective from him on this kind of stuff is important. But first, I wanted to kind of just run through what we're doing today. And while we're here together, we're on a turkey hunt here in Kansas. And we've had kind of a tough day. I mean, I've had tougher turkey days for sure.
Oh, for sure. But it was a fun day. I mean, there was about probably 2 hours where we didn't feel like we were in the birds. Probably an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. And the hour in the afternoon was for like a good reason, like a reason that we didn't mind, right? Mm-hmm. But like, I can remember this morning you were like, "Okay, I'm ready to go eat a snack."
Yeah, dude, I'm just not a morning hunter.
Out of it.
Dude, when it turns to like 7:30 or 8, depending on what time of year it is, you know.
Yeah.
When it gets to that point, I'm like,
it starts heating up. You're like, man, that ain't gonna happen.
It's like it's over. It's over. In the evening, I can go in there at 2:30, 2 o'clock, whatever, 1 o'clock, and sit there till dark. And the whole time, I'm like, it's just getting better. Yeah. It's just getting better every minute. You know.
I think I'm the most juiced. Like probably the first hour that you get out there, from the time you set up, you start hearing those gobbles, and then the bird gets down. That's probably like the most, like the best time to be in the turkey woods, and you know, like after that, it kind of like I feel like the experience kind of goes downhill a little bit. But I mean, I've had them come in later, but man, I just feel like if you can kill one like right off the roost, there's probably nothing better.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I've ever killed one right off the roost.
I haven't either. Really. We got tomorrow.
We do. We're going to give it a good try. Anthony actually killed today.
He did.
Yeah. And it
showed us how it was done.
It was a turkey. And it was a Jake, and it was a freaking boss Jake.
It was a long shot.
It was a long shot. It was exciting,
Those turkeys were close originally.
Yeah.
And they ended up kind of getting wigged out because really for no reason. They are just turkeys.
Because they're turkeys.
That. Yeah. But anytime I think they get close, it gets kind of sketchy, because it's got such good eyes. And yeah, I thought it was over and had turned the camera off, and all of a sudden they showed up at like 60 yards, and Anthony's just like, boom!
Dude,
takes him down, flop.
Yeah, so I thought they were gone. I was literally on Instagram Live.
Hey, no, we got to slow down because Anthony spotted him and says,
I tapped you. I was like, there's birds right here.
And I see him. And then he's like, they're Jakes. And I said, oh, okay. And Tyler hears that from the other side of the bush and he goes,
I'll shoot them.
Hey, if they're Jakes, I'll shoot them. If y'all don't want to shoot them.
I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear him very good.
He just wanted to make sure that we knew that he was down to be the trigger man.
Like I was thinking, okay, well, do you have 2 tags yet, or you just got a 1 tag?
Yeah, I've got 2.
Okay, so I didn't know that. I thought you might have 1. I knew Casey had 2, and I was like, I can't really hear what they're saying, but I want to make sure they know I will shoot a Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 1 tag and I will shoot a Jake, just so you know. Okay, so that's all I told them. It was pretty loud. I probably spooked them, but
no, I don't think so.
Anyway, they took off, and I thought it was all gone. And I was on Instagram Live because I didn't. I was on the other side of the bush, so I wasn't going to get a shot, and I also didn't have the video camera. First time in my life, so I was like, all right, I'm going to pull this camera out, or this video out on Instagram Live, and we're gonna give some people something to watch. And so I'm videoing, and people didn't realize what was happening. They were like, "Oh, KC in his native habitat," and all this stuff. And I was like, laughing or whatever. And so we're sitting there, and the Jake's leaving. So I turn the camera on. I'm like, well, we just had some Jakes there, and typically you don't, as usual, you don't see anything happen on this camera, but they left, so sorry that you didn't get to see that. And about that time, I hear one of these dudes, they're like, there they are, they're going across the other way. And they turned around and gone across the other way. And about that time, I flip the camera around, and I look over, and I see one of their heads go in through this native grass, warm season stuff. And I see the head go past, and it's way out there, right? And I loud, I was like, shoot them suckers. and before KC could even hit the record button on the camera, hardly, it was like, boo.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you shot him. It was kind of surprising because he's 60 yards.
I saw him flop, and I just took off, man. I was just wanting to get there.
Yeah, we got good footage of Anthony running away.
Fast. Boy can run in some boots. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I've got a couple friends that can run in boots. I got a friend that can run. Literally, he has to be able to run a 4.4 in cowboy boots. I don't know. He's so fast.
That's cool.
In cowboy boots.
Yeah. He's
I can't run in cowboy. No, he's just a fireman.
All right.
That's a good fireman to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Get to the fire quick. So,
yeah.
Anyway, we're hopefully going to put together some footage here and put a YouTube video up. But if we don't, I mean, it may be really short, if you know what I mean, if we don't have any action tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I've had the most ticks on me that I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Too. And what are we like running on like 18 to 3? Like y'all have had 3 total, and I've had about 18.
Yeah, I may have had. You actually handed me one.
I did. I also flicked one at Tyler, and he was real upset.
Yeah. Casey thinks it's so funny to freaking throw creepy crawlies.
I put one in his peanut butter today, and he cried.
Yeah,
man.
he also tried to grab an indigo snake and throw it in the window at me. So I had probably like 3 or whatever, maybe 4 or 5.
I don't know why I have so many, man.
Dude, there was like 25 or more.
Dude, every time we turned around, Casey was like,
they're like falling from the sky on me.
Yeah. Dude, we got back from one of the we stalked birds, the same group of birds 400 times today, I think.
Yeah.
But we got back from one of those stalks, and we got to the truck, and Casey's like, I think I'm going to strip down here and just check some stuff out, you know. And so he like pulls up his pant leg on his left. And he's like, oh, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 on my knee, you know. So it's like, dude, if there's 3.
I think he pulled up the other pant leg and pulled one off of that one.
There was also one on my dash, just walking around in my truck.
Dude.
Like, where did that even come from?
Dude, this is ticked off number 2 right here.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is that my wife gave me a haircut before we came on this trip, and it turned out awesome. And
it is.
And so
it is a haircut.
I thought it was great. We cut it real short because we had it says 3 millimeter on the thing, you know, the guard. But I don't think it's a 3. I think it's like a 3 millimeter. I don't know if there's a difference, but it's not. I've gotten a 2 all my for years now, and this is way shorter.
Looks like a 1.5.
It's tiny. That's what I was gonna say. And so anyway, my wife did a great job, and she did everything I wanted. It took a long time. And so I was like, all right, edge me up, you know. And so she like pulls the guard off, starts edging me up. She gets through. She's like, I think I need to take a little bit off that side of the mohawk there, you know. So she like grabs the comb, and she's like, she had already done one side with the guard on the other side, and she starts taking out the side or whatever. And then she's like, it needs to be kind of straightened up here. And she just digs in, and I don't know if y'all can see, but there's a definite square in my head where she just no-guarded my head.
I don't see it.
You don't see it? You have to say you see it, because if she listens to this, she has to know.
She gonna listen to this.
I was pretty angry for about 2 minutes.
I think you're good, dude.
Like right up against right up against it. Do you see it?
I think your anger is just
y'all need to know. Y'all need to get your contacts in.
I do see.
Yeah,
I see something. But
yeah,
but I think you're good because I think you've got enough on top.
It's not bad.
You don't
but
need
it's
to misrepresent this thing, okay?
No, I'm just telling you right now.
News.
Well, dude, it's been 2 days.
You have a responsibility as an influencer.
It's been 2 days, man. Like, how fast does your beard grow? You know what I mean?
Pretty fast.
So
pretty fast.
exactly.
That's true.
So it was a definite square, like a 3-inch rectangle out of my head, and I was like, I got up and I was like, rage, man. I had hair all over my back, you know. I was like,
I
this
did too.
is
Oh
ridiculous.
wait, no, that's it.
no, those are ticks. So. It's their hands up in the air. Anyway, okay, so let's get Chris on the phone, I guess. Is there anything else y'all wanted to say before we get into this conversation with him?
No, man. Just been having fun.
You
Can't
good?
wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. You guys are up here, and hopefully tomorrow goes a little bit better. We'll have some last day luck, and man, I've had fun. So
yeah, dude. Yeah, a lot of fun. All right, let's get Chris on the phone. We'll do a couple of questions, and we'll hit you back here in a little bit. All right, so now on the phone we have Chris B from the B season. What's happening, Chris?
Nothing much. How are you guys doing?
We're tired. But
we got
well.
bellies full, so it always helps a little bit. You know, Tyler made a delicious public land spike stew for us tonight.
With the help of KC killing that buck. So
dang, sounds good.
It is good. It was good. I was a little bit worried I didn't get to test it out before I brought it up here, but everybody gave me the thumbs up, so I was happy about it. But we've been out chasing birds all day, so we're tired. What you been up to today, man?
Well, actually, we were just out scouting, looking for some birds. We got some people, Travis Johnson, one of my buddies, and then Cooper, one of his friends, is out from Indiana for this weekend in Michigan. So we're trying to get on some birds this weekend. We just drove around, looked at some farms and stuff, and found some birds, but we kind of know where they're at, so tomorrow morning should be pretty good.
Awesome,
nice.
Dude. Nice. So did you have school today?
No, I don't have – yeah, so I still go to Michigan State. I had classes only Monday and Wednesday.
Dang, dude, that's cool.
Living a life.
So, yeah, I got pretty lucky. I had I did an internship, which took up half of my credits, which was nice.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, good.
Yep.
Then I was thinking, man, you had a busy day if you had to go to school and then go scout and go off this weekend. But that's cool, man.
No, nah.
Awesome.
It's always a busy day, though.
So, dude, we had you on the podcast a while back. We talked a bunch of archery stuff, and then we did Big Buck Breakdown, of course, when you shot the big mule deer, and you've had some great seasons, man, and been able to really grow your social platforms. And personally, like, I don't consume a whole lot of media, man, and your YouTube channel is one of the few that I tune into and keep tabs on and everything. So,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's 100% truth, man. And it's grown tremendously, man. And I think with that, obviously there's a lot of responsibilities that maybe people don't normally think about that come along with just being somebody who is influential in a space that we may kind of be in right now with the outdoor industry. And I just kind of wanted to have a conversation, man, with you and Anthony. Anthony's also, I guess you could say, an influencer. He's got a really pretty Insta profile. He's a photographer, and you guys kind of have some thoughts on this, I'm sure. So, like, just starting out, man, I don't know, kind of where do we start, Casey? Just like general responsibility,
Chris, your slogan, for lack of a better term, your hashtag is "Be Real," right? Like, what's the roots of that, man?
Yeah, so I guess the deep roots of that, my very first video, I made like a parody thing, and a couple other videos after that were just like funny videos or whatever. And one of my archery friends were like, "Yeah, dude, you're just being real." And then we're like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, like BEE, be real, just being real.
Hey, they coined it for you.
Yeah, I seriously didn't come up with it or anything. It was one of my friends. And so yeah, that's kind of been the motto, not only in the industry, but just in life and in media and everything. People just feel like they have to act, and have to be someone else. And, I just don't think that's right to do. And so everything I do, it's me, it's real. I don't change anything. Like, yeah, sure, I might be a little more formal in some, videos or other videos or whatever, but it's me. That's who I am. And that's why I think it's attractive to people, because they can see, I show the failures, I show the success, I show, the journey of it. So, and people love that. So
it's awesome, man. I 100% agree with you, man. It's so easy to digest, man, and it just is, like you said, it's real, man. It's I think people got tired of the kind of fluff of more controlled maybe industry back in, like, say, the 90s, early 2000s. That kind of media session, I guess, was there was a lot of different things that just, you look at it and you go, man, that's not super relatable. I can't go on that hunt. I can't spend that kind of money, or I can't, and like, I know one of the first videos we probably saw of yours was it the buck in the truck or whatever?
Yeah, dude. Buck in the truck.
And so
that was sick.
Yeah, dude. And like, just the thrill that you guys had to shoot, honestly, kind of small Nebraska mule deer or whatever, people like that, dude. And people, that's what people do, like they go out and they are happy to shoot those deer if they traveled out of state or whatever. So it's very cool, man. Do you feel like, as your media has grown, do you feel any kind of heightened responsibility, or is it? I mean, cause to me, like, what you do is it's just you being you. So it's not like necessarily that you have to do anything different, really. But is there anything that you have to be more aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone on social media who's trying to become anything has not threats, but just things that they should definitely pay attention to. I mean, like, one thing, if you're pursuing a career in the industry, you need to pay attention to representing companies. That's a big thing for sure. And then, I mean, another thing for me, like, I'm like to say half archery, half hunting. So with that, on the archery side, when I'm at tournaments and stuff, I see a lot of these people, so it's like, when you're a hunting influencer or something, like I feel like you see a very, very small percentage of your actual followers.
Yeah.
Like you might see some stuff at trade shows, but really trade shows are more like industry people, you know? So when I'm at archery tournaments and stuff, I have a lot of moms and dads come up to me that are like, hey, like my son loves your videos. Like you're a great role model. Like just keep doing what you're doing.
That's cool, dude.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't happen all the time, you know,
Sure.
but when it does happen, it's like, dang, you know, it's like me just making a video and uploading it has so much more impact than I actually know.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Some,
awesome.
you know, 10, 12-year-old kid might, you know, love, like he looks forward to my videos. Like maybe someone's going through a hard time or something, and I've gotten messages that'll be like, hey, like just by you being you and having fun and just, you know, enjoying, you know, archery or hunting, whatever, it's like helping, you know, me or them, you know, so.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility.
With that high level of influence like that, you know, we all kind of have brands we work with or brands we affiliate with or whatever. And I feel like there's like always this fine line of trying to not misrepresent what the brand is and just being honest with you know, whatever affiliation you have with them, but then also trying to help promote the product, right? So like, how do you maintain like that balance of not being too pitchy or selly with something, but also, you know, being upfront and honest, like, hey, I like these guys, they like me, and we work together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a super fine line. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And I think as we move forward with technology and the way just the marketplace is, it's the people that realize what the right way is are going to win, and the people that don't, you know, are going to have a hard time. But I feel like when you break it down, it's like you should be yourself and use the products that you would use.
Yeah.
And if the company and the products align with what you're actually using, you don't need to sell it.
Yeah.
Like by you using it and by you talking about it and using it correctly, and you're doing it, you know, in a good manner, it's going to sell itself. So, you know, when I work with a company or, you know, represent a company or a sponsor or whatever, it's a product that I would go out, you know, and if I was, you know, no media, no nothing, and just go buy it, you know, I would buy it, you know, again and again.
Right.
So, and I think that makes it so easy to like talk to people about it and to sell it. And, you know, so I think that's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
And like with how social media is, like people don't want stuff shoved down their throat. So they pay attention to what people are using and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, things are definitely changing, and the way that consumers are making their buying decisions are definitely changing too.
Yeah, man, for sure. Everything's changing so fast these days. And, you know, the reason I kind of, this idea for this podcast hit me, I was looking, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. It's like my main search engine, you know, and other things, entertainment as well. But, I was looking through, I guess, some of my subscriptions the other day on YouTube, and I saw a video of a guy who had caught a peacock bass, from Florida, though, one of the like butterfly peacocks, you know, and so he had his thumbnail was this, you know, kind of forced perspective, which fine. I understand that sometimes that helps to show off the fish or whatever, but the colors were so outrageous. It didn't even look like a peacock bass. It was like a green peacock bass, not orange and yellow and red and everything else. It was outrageous almost. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, there's a responsibility in just like for instance in Instagram for us to edit photos correctly and like to show a sunset that the person from in our you know, maybe for you from Detroit, for us from Dallas, can go and see that sunset and not be underwhelmed because it's not as colorful as what you showed on your Instagram profile. You know what I mean? And so maybe this is kind of maybe angled to Anthony a little bit here, but like I feel like there's that responsibility for us in photography, video, obviously, but especially in photography. There's got to be, you have some thoughts, I'm sure, on this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of take a step back, you know, we talked about hunting media in like, you know, the 90s and stuff, and we look at the way it's kind of evolved, right? And and it's moved so much more from, a print in a magazine or, even the televised channels to, now you can get it through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all these different places. And so my outlook on it is, we do have kind of a responsibility, especially as an influencer, to, one, represent, I think you should always represent yourself, well, and have integrity and try to be the best person you can, but then also represent the modern day hunter. If you want to be in that role, the public eye is so big. So that's another thing. Just to represent the sport in a great way. And then I think lastly is to, if you're going to work with a company, obviously you have to align with what their brand is looking for and whatnot. So, for me personally, as far as, the way I edit and the photos I take and everything, I try to do everything as genuine as possible, and I try not to, oversaturate or put too many filters on or anything. I just, and the biggest reason why is I just want to see that picture, and I want to be able to go back to that exact moment that I took that picture. And I think it's so cool, and it's, maybe the artsy side of me, but, I don't want that memory skewed in a way, and so that's important to me.
And that goes back to like doing it for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we all have this thing that we like to do, where we provide media content or whatever for other folks. But I mean, really, if you don't have a passion for it, and you're not trying to do it because it's something you like to do and represent what you do, then you kind of you're grounded wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you said a huge thing, and Chris, you probably kind of identify with this too. Like earlier, you were talking about how representing the modern hunter and being identifiable with people, right? And they can identify with you.
Yeah.
And before we got on the air, we were talking about a buck that you'd shot recently, and we were like, "Oh, so and so repost this, or whatever." And you're like, they would have, but it's a little baby deer, and it's a respectable deer, right? It's a good representative of the species, and it's like something that the real person would want to shoot and take home and feed their families with and hang on their wall. And I think it's so crazy to me how, I mean, from conservation orgs to the biggest, clothing providers or whatever, they always put like the cream of the crop, whether it's elk, whitetail, most beautiful duck, whatever it might be, as their their
media,
campaign,
the
right?
media that's being put on.
And it's like, man, that's not what people really know. And Chris, I loved whenever y'all went down to Missouri and shot the public land bucks 2 in one day. Man, that was just like, that's real stuff, dude.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I'll touch on 2 things real quick. The companies using the biggest buck and the biggest elk and everything, their strategy is, well, if they buy our product, then they will think that they have a better chance at shooting bigger bucks. So that's, I don't know how I feel about that, because you get to look at that both ways, definitely.
It's sexy,
Yeah, it's the best brand, it's the best bow, it's the best arrow, it's the best gear, so therefore it's the prettiest and biggest buck.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then, on the flip side of that, you want it to be achievable, when they have the equipment or they have whatever, so I don't know. That goes both ways.
Well, I think you have that. Just real quick before you say that next point. Like a person like you has an ability to show the real side of things, whereas a brand may not be so like lifestyle, I guess you could say, maybe, you know what I mean? Like a little more like this is going to make your experience better versus when you watch Chris B, you just go, I relate to that guy 100%.
Yeah.
So.
And you can tell what brands are about by who they support, and that's kind of kind of the big thing with it. Like you see people, I mean, we all know them, like certain outdoor personalities. It's like, okay, I can see, who's paying your bills. You know what I mean? Or like you got folks like you who like, I mean, we're all Sitka wearers. We can talk about it freely. Like it's cool to see, you wearing Sitka and stuff, because it's real dudes doing real stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sitka's a company. I mean, no doubt it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can read a price tag and look up the catalog. Like, it costs a lot of money. but I've talked about it a lot. It's like, if I put a lot of time and money and effort into hunting and I'm traveling around and everything, I'm going to want, the best gear, as to much of my ability, and so like Sitka gear has proven that it's functional, it's warm, it's built for the species that you're hunting, like no other, what you just can't really wrap your mind around until you wear it and stuff. So
yeah, it's built to improve the experience.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. There was another point you were going to hit on. Do you remember it? Sorry.
Oh yeah. Just the Missouri bucks. Like when Travis and I, that was total spontaneous trip. Like a couple days before, we're like, hey, let's just go to Missouri. I was actually talking to a buddy from here in Michigan who's hunted in that area before, and he just gave us a couple tips. He's like, yeah, like this area, whatever. And it's like, okay, sweet. But besides that, we've never been. Mm-hmm. And we were like, you know what? Let's just do like any buck. Like literally, we have 3 hunts, like an afternoon, a morning, and an afternoon. So any buck, let's just have fun, adventure, let's just go. And that's what we did, and I feel like a lot of people that, go out and hunt public land or whatever, that can only do it on the weekend a couple times, throughout the year because of work schedule and kids and everything else, that's what they do. So I feel like people like watching that of actually stuff that, a vast majority of people do, because not everyone can go pay out the wazoo for an outfitter in Kansas and, shoot a 170-inch buck. It's cool to watch.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Sure, and I think it's kind of cool because, like, in that experience, you didn't have, like, this giant rack to take away from, like, the friendship story of you and Travis. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was much more of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could have been a spike, could have been a 160-inch buck. Reactions probably still would have been pretty similar.
Yeah.
Because when you draw back and shoot something, it's just like nothing else.
I think one of my favorite phrases, and I'm not that much of a creeper, but man, this stuck in my mind. Whenever Travis said, "That was a weasel." Oh, dude, I died. That was so funny.
I was giving Travis crap about that first because I'm like, "You seriously put your stand right there?" He's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." Sure enough, he had to shoot through that V in the tree, but it worked out. It was funny.
Yeah. So, are there any things you try to stay away from on social media or on YouTube in particular that you see maybe other people doing, and you're just like, you know what, that's just not something that I think is very good representation, but I could easily fall into that trap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as YouTube goes, I feel like clickbait is a big one.
Yeah. We struggle with that big time, man. Because
it is and it isn't. Like, it is a huge statistic that if your thumbnail and your title is more persuasive, that your views obviously go way up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's a fine line with that, definitely. And I've been messing around a little bit with like leaning towards the more clickbait-ish line, but without going too far, I feel. So I feel like that's a touchy topic. And then I don't know. I try to keep things clean always. Like, I don't swear normally, so I don't swear in videos or anything because I know like a wide variety of my audience is younger, so I want to make sure everything's, clean and stuff. And I don't know. I just try to keep things, as real as possible.
And I like that a lot because that's a discipline and a responsibility that a lot of people don't take upon themselves. I don't know, when you're like you said, if you think about it and you like, would you want somebody, your kid or your nephew or whatever, listening to you just have a trash mouth? It kind of I don't know. I think I really commend you for that, I guess I would say. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. And everyone lives differently, and I understand that. And I've never really sworn, too much. Like, sure, every now and again, but I just kind of converted that over to videos and stuff, and just keep rolling like that.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony? Anything that you trying to stay away from? I mean, we kind of maybe hit on it earlier, but
yeah, I mean, so the biggest things that like just are not necessarily you stay away from because you're going to see it in the hunting industry, but it's kind of a turnoff for me. It's like, you just see that guy who, he's a hard hunter and he goes out and he talks to companies and he can land a deal where maybe they give him some free product, and next thing you know, he kills a deer or something. He kills something, and he's got 20 different products lined up in front of the deer, and and maybe he does like a thank you video. Well, I couldn't have killed this big buck without this. Yeah. This,
outdoor
fruit,
knife.
Yeah. Without this
corn
fruit, this fruit flavored corn or whatever, corn dust. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, people were killing deer long before that thing, and they'll kill deer long after that's gone. And so that's kind of a turnoff for me.
Kind of takes away from. I don't know. It kind of, in my opinion, it's a little bit disrespecting to the animal almost. It's like, I don't know. I would just rather celebrate the animal than the products that help me to get this thing done, whatever I guess. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know a lot of people kind of, stay away from the blood and stuff like that. And there's a blurred line on stuff like that, like obviously you want to respect the animal, but I don't think it's, also, I don't think it's responsible to hide that process either. There's, but you also have to look at it in a manner like, hey, if you're going to post something and you say, hey, if I post this, does this better our sport or does it hurt our sport through the eyes of an outsider? Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
I've been all over the map on that, honestly, because I think you just got to figure out where your audience is going to be for that particular piece of media. Because hunters, there's not a lot that's going to make us kind of squeamish. We all process or at least field dress game or whatever, And so, we were looking at some shots earlier that you did that, I was saying, I love blood in photos because it's just such a sharp contrast to a lot of things, especially that time of year. It's all brown and gray and white. So, that just crimson is just really cool. But at the same time, if you're going to be posting somewhere maybe to your personal account or it's just something that's going to be seen by a broader audience, maybe some of those things could be off-putting. And the last thing I would want to do is off-put somebody who may or may not have a vote that's going to determine our future as hunters.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I probably, I don't have an issue with the blood deal, but I probably definitely wouldn't be posting a bucket of entrails or something.
Yeah, it's weird, man. So don't be silly.
So there's that. And this is just more from a professional, semi-professional standpoint. Is I get some companies all have the starting point. They kind of walk up their marketing ladder. And they find their budget and whatnot, but kind of a turn off where a company wants you to, I've had companies in the past where I've tried to help them and and I want to provide a certain look and a certain quality and then at the same point in time they might put a cell phone picture up or something on their page and it's I feel defeated so that's kind of a turn off. But man, outside of that, like I said, you just. I look at things like, hey, what is going to best preserve that memory for you? Is it going to hurt or harm the sport? And does it align with your values and the companies that you work with? Do all those align? And if at the end of the day you can say, hey, I can handle the repercussions from whatever I post, that's great, know. So and it's just my value skills maybe a little bit different than somebody else's. So
at some point there's going to be somebody offended, I'm sure. I mean, I actually know that from experience. I'm sure you do, Chris.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chris, is there anything that you've seen that you've gone, man, that's cool. I'm going to start using something similar to that, or that spurs some kind of idea in my mind that. I could do this. That whole idea gave me this idea. Is there anything that you've seen that you just like, man, that's good stuff. I need to start using that in my media.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I follow. So, I feel like our industry is slow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we're always 5 years behind.
Yeah.
Which is fine for the people that are paying attention to other industries or whatever. So I like to follow fishing, lacrosse, a lot of other medium-sized industries or whatever, and just see what they're doing and see what people in my position are doing. In the vlogging space or video space or whatever. So yeah, I'm inspired all the time, and I'm constantly trying to shape this stuff I produce, and like even with the bee season stuff, last year I saved it all until January, and I did that the year before, but I think this year I'm not going to do that.
Really?
I think this year I'm going to have pretty much live video updates, like weekly. And
I'm pumped.
yeah, turn around. See, exactly. You're pumped already.
Yeah, dude.
People want stuff right now.
I know.
They don't want stuff tomorrow. So that's kind of my mentality going forward. It's like more vlog style, more real. Even more real, not as polished. Like I don't know if you saw the turkey video that I just put out, but
haven't got to yet.
I just turned that around in like a day or two. So stuff more like that, just people like that. So if, let's say we actually just bought Kansas, put in for Kansas today, me and Travis.
Really?
Cause today was a deadline. We're going to head out there this year.
Man.
Hopefully if we draw, but, so for like that trip, we might do a short series or something. So like, save it until the next week or something, because it's hard to edit obviously when you're hunting and on the road and stuff, but I don't know, flipping around stuff a lot sooner is going to be the strategy.
Artistically, does that bother you at all? I guess if I can, I guess artistically would be the way to put it. I don't know.
I people would ask me that, and I don't think so, because what I had to do last season is I had a month long of video crammed into 2 episodes. So now I can take a month long of video and make 15 episodes. So it'll allow me to use everything that I shoot, because there's a lot of stuff that I leave out still,
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's going to be definitely a change of pace, but it's going to be better, I think, all around.
Yeah,
so
that'll be cool. Hey, when do you feel like the most fulfilled as a content provider or an influencer?
Oh gosh, I love. I like really enjoy the editing process. Like I've figured out editing like when I was probably 16, like starting out on a laptop, and I've just always grinded out and learned. I was all self-taught, everything, just watching stuff. No classes or anything really taught me anything. Because I'm like advertising. I'm not video or anything in college. So I really enjoy just the creation process of everything, and then press and play once you're done.
Yeah, man.
It's just super fulfilling. And in the field and stuff, it's awesome to capture everything, and you can kind of map it out in your mind. But until you sit down and really work at it, you never really know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Well, man, we appreciate the time, and I guess going forward here, I would just say good luck, man, with everything. We really do wish the best for you. We enjoy your content as much as anybody out there, man, and it's inspiring to us that we can be similar guys like that and still make headway within this crazy world, I guess. So anyway, I really do hope that you have success going forward with this new model and your YouTube and everything. And I know the world changes quick, so I'm sure you'll be adaptable, man. You seem to have been that in the past. So thanks for the time, Chris, and good luck with everything, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Keep being real, dude.
Yeah.
Just keep it real.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, how can our listeners find more of your super responsible content?
Yeah, so you can search on YouTube, Chris B, B-E, just like the bumblebee. That's my channel. Check me out on Instagram, Chris B Real. And then I also have a podcast that I've been slacking on the past few months. But there are quite a few episodes on there that have been ticking along. So you can check that out at the B-Cast.
Cool, man. Yeah, cool. We'll link to all that in the notes below. So if you're listening, check it out. Chris, thanks again for your time, man. And enjoy the weekend. Y'all go kill some birds.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right,
have a good one.
See you, bro.
All right, well, that was cool. It was pretty interesting to have 4 people on the podcast, 'cause I feel like it's been a minute since we had the numera 4.
I know, man. It's cool. And it's I don't know. I feel like that's 4 dudes who like have kind of a common platform or something like that. We all have a lot to talk about. Yeah,
and I didn't mean to like, I know this is an easy subject for us to get real negative on. I didn't mean to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that like we talked about the responsibilities of being an influencer or running a social media account where people pay attention to what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah.
And so,
well, it's not negative. It's just self-checking, you know, and whether we like it or not, we're all influencers of someone.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Like, it doesn't matter if you've got 40 followers or 4,000 or 4 million or whatever. Like, you have an influence over the people that you're around, the people that see your stuff. So you need to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable so that maybe through your actions, someone else is taking the right actions as well.
Yeah, and as a hunter, like you said, even if you have 40 followers, as a hunter, you're under a microscope scrutiny. You know what I mean? Like, you're under the glass, man, and people are gonna really like take what you put up, and if they can run with it, they're going to. So you gotta be careful, you know, around your friends and stuff, and make sure like maybe start conversations with them about stuff, you know, and say, hey, what do you think about like the stuff I've been posting lately about that buck I killed this year? You know,
Yeah.
I know you're not a hunter, but what do you think? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just be real with folks, man.
That's right. Be real with them. Have conversations, like we're being real right now.
Yeah.
And are y'all going to eat any dessert at this point, or are y'all about to go to bed?
Man,
already ate dessert.
I am real tired. Is what I am.
Yeah.
4 Oreos.
Foreos?
4 Oreos. No milk. Anthony, how are you going to kill a bird in the morning?
Oh, man.
Quickly.
Yeah. No, right off the right off the roost, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you've got a
gonna
like,
shoot 'em out of the
particular
tree?
turkey like figured out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it bad luck to talk about it right now?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so. I mean, shoot, man, they're wild animals, and man, I thought I had it in the bag the last couple times, but you know,
Since you figured out today that you can shoot 60 yards, is that going to change your approach?
yeah. I mean, it's worth a poke, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
sure. Just like Gus would say.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Me too. I am. Anthony, thanks for doing this, man. Thanks for having us up. It's been a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun today, even though it was slow. But honestly, like, as long as I'm chasing something, I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It's when I'm sitting there, my knees hurting, I got to pee. And,
Just watching me pick ticks off.
And then Casey's flicking ticks at me from, like, every time I turn around, I feel something hit me.
Yeah.
And I look around, he's smiling like he threw something at
I
me.
just smile, dude. It's all right.
Dude,
Tried to throw it in my peanut butter today. Dadgummit.
You know that like you got a lot of ticks when you're weaponizing them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's when you know you've got a plethora.
Yes. Yeah. You had ticks aplenty today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get to this sleeping so that we can get to the hunting in the morning.
It's a good
How's that
idea.
sound?
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
I agree on that.
Make sure check out the links below. Chris talked about some turkey hunting footage recently. We'll link to his YouTube. And make sure you watch the Hooked film if you haven't yet. We've had people say a lot of really nice things about that.
That's
film,
right.
so.
And all three of us here at the table are in that film. So kind of a cool thing.
That is cool, dude. Hopefully we'll all three be in the next one that releases here in the next few weeks. So anyway, Anthony, tell us where people can find your social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at A-Warn. What is my Instagram?
A-Warn Imagery. A-Warn Imagery.
A-Warn _imagery.
Is it underscore?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know, bro. I don't
know
about that.
either,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm pretty sure it
Dude,
is.
let's check this out.
Dude.
Anyway, he's on Facebook.
Yeah,
at,
A-Warn
Big
imagery.
Sexy.
All right, he knows.
Big Sexy Midwest. Big Sexy Midwest. Is it an underscore though?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it-
A-Warn _imagery on Instagram, and that's a profile worth following because, dude, you're a fantastic photographer, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Not to get too far off, but you know, you and I had really taken a lot of interest in the cameras and stuff like that, and so without you, man, I wouldn't have ever gotten into it in the first place. So kind of full circle back here. I'm glad you guys got to come up and we could all hang. So.
Yeah, dude.
Me too, bro.
I didn't. I just gotta say something real quick. It wasn't that like I knew a bunch or anything. I just always had inspiration to pick up a camera and film some stuff. And so I appreciate you saying that, but honestly, like the both of us, I think have learned a lot from each other over the years, just bouncing ideas. I remember at a time when you and I would.
It was a wildfire.
Multiple times a day, we would be on the phone for like an hour, and we'd be like, "Dude, if we could just get a red, man. If we could just get a red. If we could just get this lens, dude, we would be so awesome, man. We'd make so much cool
it was
stuff.
literally a wildfire of creation and ideas and inspiration, man. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that this weekend we kind of got to get back to that. So.
Yeah, dude, it's been a long time since we hunted together.
Yeah.
So
I wish y'all would get a red. Like, come on.
Do you think we should?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
go in halves, bro.
Here's the thing. We have pretty much about figured out that the three of us, at least three of us, will be going on this Gila hunt that I drew.
Baby.
So we should have some pretty serious media coming out of western New Mexico this fall.
Hey, we're going to have some cool stills of Anthony with the Jake, at least, from this trip.
For sure.
But hopefully we have some cool stills of Casey with a giant Gila. Anyway, it's time to get out of here and go to sleep. Anything else? Have we missing anything, guys?
That's
Anthony,
it, man.
this is your time to shine because this is your first time on. What did you think about your experience here, real quick?
Man, it was good. It was good. I've like I said, I've listened and watched this stuff for a while, and always supported what you guys have done.
Appreciate it.
And so yeah, man, I'm stoked to be here. And
it's the biggest moment of your life.
Yeah,
just about.
Yeah, it's
just about.
It's up there.
Yeah,
so.
I noticed the smile on your face was bigger than when you shot that Jake, so that says a lot. So. No.
So but hopefully we can chat soon with you guys, and we'll figure out something. And heck, man, I'm excited to support Casey on that hunt. So yeah,
sweet. I'm excited for you to do that too.
Yeah, Casey's like, you gonna make me look good. All right, well, y'all have a good rest of your week and weekend, and God bless you guys. Remember, this is your element.
Living it.
Hey everybody, listen up. I got mega huge news. Meat Eater Live is heading back out on the road. That's right. Join me and the crew. Clay Newcomb, Cal, Yanni, Spencer's going to be there. Phil the engineer's going to be there. Meat Eater Live headed back out. Now, when you get every ticket, okay? Every ticket you buy, you get a signed copy of our new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook. This tour is celebrating the release of the book. Buy a ticket, get a signed copy, Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook, wild game recipes for the grill, smoker, camp stove, and campfire, which I'll point out is a $38 value. Here's where we're going to go. April 23rd, the Mesa Arts Center in Mesa, Arizona. April 24, the Balboa Theater in San Diego. April 25, the Grove in Anaheim, California. April 27, the Crest Theater in Sacramento. April 29, the Union in Salt Lake City. April 30, the Egyptian in Boise. May 1, the Wilma Theater in Missoula. May 2, the Bing Crosby Theater in Spokane, Washington. May 4, Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon. And May 5, the last day of the tour, Pantages Theater in Tacoma, Washington. For tickets and more information, visit the events page at themeateater.com. Hope to see you at the show.